Coach Dunleavy, could you please tell us a little bit about Tulane in the 2018-19 season?
Yeah, so, in terms of where we are, kind of where we expect to be and where we are right now, obviously we're not anywhere near where we were hoping to be. We knew, that we were going to have a little bit of either a down year or a year that we might be flat in. That was the hope because, losing two guys in Mel Frazier and Cam Reynolds, both most improved players in our league 2 years running. Obviously Mel with the Orlando Magic, and then Cam's with the Sacramento Kings, playing very well for their G League team. And again, probably 35 points out of our 73 or whatever we averaged last year. But the big blow to us this year was we played without our two-year starting point guard, Ray Onembo, who we felt like had a chance to be that third most improved player in the league. We're expecting a really big year out of him. He had a good jump last year in his game, and he was shooting probably 42 or 43% from the three-point line last year when he had an elbow injury that he went on a stretch where he missed double-digit threes in a row, and it took him down. He finished at 37% for the three-point line on the year. But his experience, he's our best defender. Defends size and quickness at 6'3" and a half. He had a major post game. Again with that three-point shooting. Of all the guys on our team, kind of that we couldn't afford to lose, it was really him. Just because we didn't recruit another point guard because Jordan Walker, a Seton Hall transfer, is in, and so kind of Murphy's Law. Our thinnest position, and the one guy, like we would have told you, okay, we could probably absorb anybody else, if we missed that guy. Ray goes down, and so now we're playing. We've been playing with a redshirt freshman, Shaquan Barrett, at the point, and the backup is not necessarily a point guard, but a wing player in Jordan Cornish. So we've struggled on the year in terms of turnovers. Again, if you look at our stat sheet, two areas of major concern for our team have been offensive rebounds and turnovers. And since the kind of Christmas break, before we get into conference, I made a change. And, kind of as a coach, as you have your team, you go through a stretch of time. Basically, a lot of what we've done has been to first address toughness. And so kind of what I've done for the first time in my career as a coach is really taken box-out drills into the season to where, like, we do box-out drills every single day now, except maybe the day before a game. So my concern in the past has been about guys getting injured. But we were getting beat up so much on the boards at this point, to me, like, I just had to find guys who can do the job and continue to do it. And since that time, we won the rebound game 3 games in a row against SMU, South Florida, who had been, plus 10 on the boards. And even last night we were plus 13 on the boards. So we're starting to find, that component. And then South Florida game, we had 26 turnovers in that game. Last night we had 11. It was a little bit better, but it's still an area that, that we've got to improve in. With Ray out, our experience went way down. I don't know these numbers, but somebody in the media told me that we were like 333 out of like 353 in the country as far as experience. Well, all that means is you got a young team. I mean, Wichita State's got a really young team too, and now it's kind of about kind of circling the wagons and trying to figure out how do we improve in the areas that we're weak in. All our other numbers across the board: field goal percentage, 3-point shooting percentage, free throw percentage, rebounding, overall, all those things across the board. If you look at our stats, we're virtually even with teams, other than we're giving them 7 to 8 possessions a game more, which, as I explained to our guys, if you give somebody 8 possessions, start to give them, here's the ball 8 times, well, they could outscore you by 24 points in 8 possessions, but the reality is it's probably somewhere between 8 and 16 points that you're spotting somebody, and it's because you're not taking care of the ball. So that's what we're addressing, and then from the other standpoint from the turnover standpoint, trying to figure out the ways that would turn the ball over and to limit that, changing our offense around play sets that we run that maybe don't give us that opportunity, and then just to get our guys just more experience to play better.
Thank you, Coach. And a reminder to our participants, star 1 to ask a question, and we'll open it up at this time.
We'll take a question from Don Wade with the Daily Memphian.
Yeah, Coach, you obviously just played Memphis and kind of saw them, I guess, at their best and their worst at times within that one game. I'm just curious how much runway you think they have in front of them and how much improvement they could, potentially make by the time everybody's in Memphis for the conference tournament.
Well, first thing that they've got going for them in a great way is scoring. They're the number one scoring team in the conference. They're very athletic. They get out in transition, and they're in attack mode. In the first half last night, as much as you tell your team something and how a team plays, and you watch some film, until you experience it, you don't really know. I thought they did a great job running against our scorers last night and beating us down the floor. And then once we got that under control, and turnovers, we early in that game, we turned the ball over. We only turned it over 11 times in the game, but early on in that first half, we had turnovers that allowed them to get breakaway layup opportunities. And I thought that when we gave ourselves a chance, was when we were able to make them play against a set defense. And obviously, in that first half, Martin got away from us. He had 21 points in the first half. And, we did a much better job adjusting in that second half. He had 6. But they're a team, it was a 3-point game at one point at the very end. And if you look at the stat sheet, we were 3 for 23 at the 3-point line after the game. Those numbers are going to be hard to beat anybody. But I like the way our team fought. But when I look at their team, I think the first place you have to focus in on is transition. You got to make them play in front of you with a set defense. But they've got guys that are really good off the dribble. They're very mobile. They can shoot the 3. They got guys score. Virtually, I don't know who they put on the floor that you would say, okay, that guy can score, and we can give a lot of help off of that guy. So they've got great depth and balance in terms of their scoring ability. They've got great size, in terms of the ability to play inside. They got bigs that can shoot the 3, so they can stretch the floor as well. So they got a lot of positives going for them.
And specifically, Antoine Jones, is he a guy that kind of seems like he's on the cusp of breaking out in a big way and maybe changing things for them?
Well, I thought he played a real solid game against us, and I'd watched games in the past, that they played, and as a good sized guard or wing player, he has good skills. They run him through. They have him run pick and rolls. They have him go into the post. He's out on the perimeter. So again, he's got the ability to put him in situations depending on kind of matchups that they can play out of. So he's a nice piece for sure.
Thank you.
Coach Dunleavy, thank you very much for your time. Good luck on Saturday, and we'll talk to you again in February.
Great. Thank you. Bye.
And we'll continue to move right along now to UCF head coach Johnny Dawkins. His Knights at 13-2 overall, leading the American Athletic Conference with a 3-0 record. Coach Dawkins, thanks for joining us.